Well, welcome to CSC161 Advanced Java Programming. And tonight we're going to cover an introduction to JavaFX. And we'll start off with Eclipse, and we'll make a brand new Java project, and we'll go into it from there. So I'm going to start sharing, and we'll share let's see, the Java Eclipse. Okay, now then, you can see in this, I've already started a new Java project. So I've clicked on that Java project, and I have named this one JavaFX Introduction. Again, you can name them whatever you wish to, but this one I have as a JavaFX Introduction. All right. So I've selected source, and let me start with setting up this project to work with JavaFX. Just a reminder that that doesn't come already turned on, and there's reasons you can look up online if you'd like to, but it's just a fact we have to live with. So to set the project up for JavaFX, I'm going to click on Project, Properties. Then we will go to Java Build Path. In Java Build Path, make sure libraries are selected. Then it'll show JRE System Library, and I am on 1.8. And I will do the drop down on that. And then if you'll notice, the very first thing is access rules. And right now, no rules are defined, and that's where we need to define something. So I'm going to click on it, and everything grays out except for edit. So I'll select edit. And by the way, if you look down here, this is showing you where all the other Java jars are. And JavaFX has not been added to this. So we will edit, and we will add. And right now, JavaFX is forbidden, so we're going to make it accessible. So I'll change that to accessible, and the rule pattern will be JavaFX /**. So JavaFX *****. Okay, and once you have that in there, you can click on OK. And then we will want to go down and do OK on all the rest of these as well. So OK and OK. And that lets this Java project be aware of JavaFX. So this is where we're going to start. Okay, now then, I need to create a Java class. Okay, and the name on this one is going to be Hello World. Okay, and yes, I will need a main on this one. Okay, let's see, good, y'all's has not changed. Okay, so I'll select public static void main and click on finish. Okay, first thing I like to do is straighten up my curly braces. That's just my preferred style. Okay, and since this is going to be an application, it's going to be a GUI, so that's going to run as an app. I have to come up here to my class name, Hello World, and I have to add into it extends application. Okay, and doesn't like that to start with. Well, isn't that great? That's okay. So we'll just import as we go. Okay, now then it's okay. You should be doing fine. Now it's going to gripe because whenever you extend an application, you must override a function called start on this. So since this is an override of a method, I want to make sure I spell that name correctly. So I'm going to put in @override, and that tells it the next thing coming should be overriding an already existing function, and it checks to make sure I've got my spelling right. So this will be public void and start is the name of the function that we're overriding. And when we start a GUI, we have to tell it what stage it will be using. And this is like an actor stage, okay? We're going to say like stage left, stage, which stage, stage 1, or go over to another building to stage 2. And you can call this whatever you want to. And I like using the name primary stage because that's the stage we will start off with. Okay, now underneath this, it's going to require a couple of more things from you before it gets happy and lets go of that. Same thing up here. Oh, well, what reason it's not happy is, hey, it's telling me I don't know what a stage is either. So let's import that as well. Okay, now then finally it's understanding what I'm doing. So this is a hello world application. So this is what it takes just to let the computer say hello world with JavaFX. I'm going to say text field. What's your capitalizations on these two? It does matter. And I'll do a lowercase text field just to give it a name. That's just a variable name. And that's going to equal to a new text field with the words hello world in it. Okay, and then close that line off with a semicolon. And again, it doesn't know what a text field is. So if I just point at it, it'll pop up my options. And there's, like on this one, sometimes you'll see too, java.awt is an older version of what we're doing. And you'd want to stay away from that because everything now is JavaFX. So select the import text field JavaFX version. Okay, and that comes in. And, oh, it makes a difference if you don't spell it right. Okay, so far so good now. We've got that. Now then, I need to declare a scene for this text field to appear in. And on this, literally, you can think of it as actors on a stage and then scenes and that kind of stuff. So for this particular scene, which I will call scene, lowercase, that's just a nice, comfortable, easy name to come up with. And that's going to equal to a new scene. And now I have to describe the scene. This is while it's being created, the constructor would like to see some stuff right here. So it's going to be text field is going to be in the scene, okay? And the scene itself should be restricted to a size of 150 by 50. Okay, so the stage is where everything occurs. A field, I'm just setting up a player that's going to appear. The scene the player appears in is just called scene. I could call these like scene 1 if I had multiple, scene 2 or other descriptive names. So this one is supposed to be text field. Okay, and it knows what that is. And it's going to be size 150 by 50. And you can either put spaces in there or not, it doesn't matter. But I do need to let it know what scene is. And again, I just let it pop up, make sure I pick the one that's JavaFX. And so far, so good. It's just telling me that hasn't been used, okay? So I'll come down underneath the scene now, and I need to tell the stage, this will be your opening scene. So I go to primary stage, and I say, let's set the scene. And in your minds, if you've ever been to a live production, you should hear the little pitter patter of feet as people in the back are setting up the scene to open with, and you'll hear them as they change scenes and all that. Well, that's what's going on right now when I say set the scene. And the scene I want to set it to is the only one I've got, which is just the scene. Now, we're ready to go. So I need to tell the stage, open the curtains. So primary stage, show. And that tells it to open the curtains. Now, just because of using this version of Eclipse and this version of Java, those two combined, normally you could just launch this thing and it would go. But with this version of Eclipse, you have to tell it, yeah, it's time, go ahead and launch that thing. It's still looking for a main function here. So I'm going to say, okay, application, you have my permission to start up, and this is a lowercase l, whoops, L-A-U-N-C-H, and when it gets through, notice it changes it to italics and it makes it look like a capital L. It is not. That is a lowercase l. Okay, that's what it takes just to get hello world. Oh, I think I'll spell hello. That's almost hollow. Well, anyway, hello world. Okay, so I have to say that this is an application. That's what adds in all the extra code so it can run in a window all on its own. Okay, then if it's an application, you must have a start. At the start, this is what's going to occur. Okay, I'm going to have a stage that I'll call my primary stage. One of the actors is going to be a text field, and that text field will have in it hello world. Then I'm going to set the scene. The scene contains the text field, and it's only 150 by 50 wide. Okay, stage, you will start with this scene, stage, open the curtains. Now then, when I run this, I'll change the window. You can, if you're following along with me, yours should run at this point as well. And it did. I'll change my share. Let me tell you, 150 by 50 is not large, okay? But I'll share it with you. Yeah, there you go. And that's just appearing on the screen on top of the code. And that's a hello world in JavaFX that is running in its own little window right now. Okay, and this stuff just comes with it automatically, all the usual stuff you're used to seeing. And this will continue to be there until you kill off the screen. Okay, so since I killed off the screen I was sharing, we've come back to just a picture of me and the rest of us that are out there. So let me go back to sharing code. Okay, so that's just the basics of JavaFX and getting something to show up. You have a stage, you have scenes, you have actors in the scene. You tell the stage, start with this scene, and you tell the stage to open the curtains. And that's essentially it. Now, every time I do one of these that extends application, if I want the application to run in our setup, I have to include application.launch. And again, that is a lowercase l there. Okay.
What exactly is the extend doing? Is that just making it so that like it will be able to open up the application?
No. Application has a bunch of things built into it, and I want to add to what the application has built in. So when I say hello world extends application, that automatically gets me everything that has been defined in application, and I can get to it, such as a start function. So just by saying that, that means hello world has picked up every ability, every field, every method that exists in application.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what gets me all the little extra code that I don't even know about that's necessary to get a window to pop up. Okay. All right. So there's that one, which is fairly simple. Okay, let's go to another one, and it's going to use, it's going to introduce you to buttons that you can get to. Okay, so I'm going to create a new Java class, perhaps. Make sure where I am. And a new Java class. There we go. Now it's working. Again, when I'm sharing this window in Zoom, it gets a little funky sometimes, and we have to be patient with it. Okay, the name on this one is simply going to be JavaFX buttons. Okay, so I'll call this class Java. Yeah, see there, it's being a little funky with me on this. All right, so let me tell you what I'm going to do on it, because I'm going to have to stop sharing it to get it to happen. Okay, I'm going to call this one JavaFX buttons. That's going to be the name. I will include main, and then I'm going to click on finish, and that'll open it up. And when it opens up, then I'll come back and share it with you again. So I'm going to stop sharing so I can get this to work. Okay, now I'm going back into the name, and I'm calling it JavaFX buttons. And I am including public static void main. And that has now popped up, and I'll share again because I can share this with you. Okay, sample code for class, share. Okay, now, first thing I'm going to do is straighten everything up the way I like it, my preferred style. And that's just a long time coding and debugging, and I'm trying to get it to let me key in there, and it's having fits again. So I'm just trying to shake it up a little and see. Yeah, there we go. All right. Again, that's Zoom interfering a little bit. I'm not going to knock Zoom though. It does pretty good. It's not its fault I have a bad connection. Okay, so have that in. And I'm going to start this the same way I did last time. I'm going to put extends, and as I need to add libraries or import libraries, I will. So I'll come up here, JavaFX buttons, extends, application. And it doesn't know what that is, so I point to it, pull in the JavaFX version, okay, or try to. Oh, you were doing so good for me just a minute ago, and now it's doing this to me. Okay, I've got to stop sharing just a moment so I can get it to function again. All right, so I'm going to point to application and try, there it goes. Okay, it's letting me put it in now. Okay, I shall go back to sharing that screen. Hope it gets over that so I don't have to keep doing that all through this one, okay. JavaFX buttons, it doesn't like that because I must include a start. That's a requirement from application. If I extend application, I have to include a start. Please. It's thinking about it. Okay, and it's letting that work okay. So let me go back in here now. And did that shake it up enough? Yes, it appears to have. Okay, there we go. All right, so again, since I am overriding an existing function, if I put override in, it will check to make sure what comes next actually overrides something, okay? As you can see right here, I've got override and it's telling me main. If I go look at this error, it said, I'm sorry, but you can't do that. That's a method that, okay, so yeah, I know I'm not trying to override that one, but it does watch. So I'll say public void start. And again, the first thing I have to tell an application is what is the name of its primary stage. So I'll say, okay, this is of type stage, and I call it primary stage. That's just me. It can be any variable name you want to use. Okay, and now then it doesn't know what stage is. Oh, good. Please keep working. That's doing so well. Oh, crap. There it goes. Let me try one more time to come over to here and then back to see if that shakes it up enough to actually work. Okay, got to stop it for a second, import that. Which one is stage anyway? Nah, it's not that long, I'll just key it in. Okay, so I'll come up here and do it the hard way. Oh, it's not even gonna let me do that. Come on, baby, please work with me on this. Okay. By the way, it does not do any good to let pleading into your voice while you're talking to the computer. It only shows the computer weakness. Okay, so I'll have to remind myself not to do that while I'm doing this. Okay, JavaFX dot stage. That needs to be a capital stage and semicolon. Now, did that help anything? No. Is it a lowercase s?
Couldn't you just copy and paste it from the other tab?
Yeah, that would be an idea too, if this will let me. Okay, the problem I'm running into is Zoom while I'm trying to do this. And I don't know why all of a sudden it has got upset. But that should be the right import. Let me go try your suggestion though. We'll see if that'll work. Okay, and yeah, let me just go ahead and get the rest of these. I know I'm going to need at least these. Okay, copy that. That was a Control-C, and come back over here and try to paste on top of this. That'll be a Control-V. Okay, thank you. All right. All right, and someone was trying to give me the right spelling on that. Okay. Stage.stage. That's what was wrong. Okay. All right, now then, back into what we're doing. It's happy now. I have successfully overridden the start command, even though I haven't done anything. That's all Java's checking on so far. Okay, so things I'll need a pane, and then I'll need some actors, and then I'll need a scene, and all that. So let's just start in. Okay, here's a pane, which I'll call pane, and that's going to be equal to a new, and I'm throwing this in just so you can see it. Okay. It's going to be a new H box. Okay, and that's a method call and a semicolon. Okay, and I didn't include paint. I would have thought that would have picked something up already. Okay, so what's it supposed to be? Okay, JavaFX scene.layout.pane. Okay, let me try to. Yep, not going to do it. Okay, not going to do this either. Okay, let me stop sharing, put it in there. I'm going to have to put in pane and HBox both. Okay, that's what's going to happen while I'm not sharing. Okay, I've quit sharing, and now then my code is working again like it's supposed to. And I'm putting in an import for pane, and then I'm putting in an import for HBox. Okay, I'm listening.
You could try Control-Shift-O, that might work.
What's it going to put in there at this point if I do Control-Shift-O?
It auto imports everything that needs to be imported. If there are multiple options to import something, it lets you choose one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, on my next one, I'll give that a shot because this is not doing that well. Okay, so let me go back into sharing that screen again. The little hello world would work just fine. Okay, so I added in the HBox and I added in pane. Okay, so those were added in. Now another thing I could do is since they don't all have the same name that follows, but if I did scene.asterisk, that would give me everything that was one down. If I did scene.asterisk, I think that might give me the rest of them too. But anyway, we'll try the O option here in a minute. Okay, so I have a new pane. Now then I'm going to say pane set padding. Okay, so I'm down in here and it's giving me fits again. Okay, enter. Okay, pane dot set padding. And on the set padding, I'm going to, now this will be the padding around the edge so that it doesn't float all the way to the edge on this. And to do that, you need inserts. And so I'm going to say new inserts to give it a little bit of room. And all the way around on this thing, how far? And this is just going to be in pixels, 5, 5, 5, 5. And that just gives it a little border around there. Now I'm going to go ahead and do 2 or 3 more lines before I try to import anything, okay? All right, now I'm going to come up underneath that and I'm going to say, okay, here is an actor that I want to put on. And this actor is of a button type. And so I'm going to call it a G button. Okay, and that's going to be equal to a new button. And inside the parenthesis on button, you can put a label for the button. And I'm going to call this one green. Okay, close and semicolon. And again, I'll wait to get imports until I have a lot of this in here. Okay, now what I need to do is tell the scene or this pane that's going to go in the scene. I'm working on just a window pane here. okay, that it has this button. And the way that I do that is say, okay, pane, which I defined up here on line 13, pane dot, go get a list of everything that's in you right now, everything that you're holding, and you do that by saying get children. Okay. Now then, after I say go get the children, I'm going to say now you need to add this to your list of children. Okay, and let me check my, yeah, it's doing okay. Okay, so once it knows what a button is, we'll be in good shape here. Okay, so I have now taken this actor, added it into the window pane that will be placed into the scene. Okay, so after this, I'm going to go get another one, and I'm going to declare another button. And this will be called a B button for blue. And it's going to be equal to a new button. And in parentheses, I'm going to put blue in quotes. Okay. Now I have to do the same thing with this one. I've got to go put it into the window pane that will be added to the scene that will be placed on the stage. So I'm going to say pane. Again, get a list of your children, everything that you're holding on to, and let's add another one in there. And we're going to add in a B button. Okay, so this is what we're adding on to this. Now, scene, let's go ahead and get our scene set up that this needs to go in. So I'll say I need something of type scene, and it's going to be called scene. Again, if multiple scenes, you'd come up with a better name, but we've only got the one. And that's going to be equal to a new scene. And in this scene, we need to add the pane. And I want that pane to be 150 by 150. Just a little bit bigger than the last one. Okay. And that'll be the end of that one. Okay. So far, so good. Okay, now, here's where I start using this. When we ran the last one, Hello World was sitting on a white background. I'm going to change the background color within the window pane, which will be within the scene, which will, well, you got the idea. Okay, so I'm going to say pane dot set background. Okay, and again, watch your capitalization and everything. And that's going to be, I'm going to set that to a brand new background I'm describing right here, right now. And this background is going to have a fill. And that fill will be of the color red. And there's two more options that come with it that I don't care. So I'm just going to put nulls for the other two options. Okay, so that closed off that one. That closed off the other one. And 1, 2, 3, I'm missing some parentheses somewhere. I will find it in a minute. Okay, I've got enough now. I want to try to pull in all of the needed libraries. So tell me again, what was the keystroke combination to do that?
Control-Shift-O.
Control, Shift, alphabetical or numeric?
Alphabetic.
Thank you. And this is what you said would be popping up. So I can pull JavaFX, go to the next one, JavaFX, go to the, it's not going to the next one. Okay, let me stop sharing, try it, and I will be right with you. Okay, so stop share. Okay, go back now and try the next button. Yeah, and it's working as long as I'm not sharing. In JavaFX, and that got everything except words that I misspelled. Let me share it so you can see what I've got going here. Okay, if you're looking at that, I'm down here on line 21, and I didn't spell background fill correctly. Okay, and for the color red, that has to be in all caps to be valid. Okay, and so I have pane.set background. Y'all see what's happening again, right? I'm keying it in, but it's not accepting it. Okay, let me try again now. Background, okay, and set background. I'm not seeing the problem with that one. Background filled. Oh, it probably didn't pull that one in. Well, let me see first. I've still got another correction on the line to do. Okay, yeah, it didn't pull this one in because it was misspelled, so it didn't get a chance to pull it in. And I want it to do this. Oh, please, please. And of course not. Okay. So I've got to stop the share. What did I have in here? Inserts didn't fill in either. And I have new inserts. So that's one I'm going to have to go back and deal with one at a time. Stop the share. Okay, go deal with background fill. Okay, that one got taken care of. Let me look at inserts and JavaFX geometry. No, that's in sets. Let me check and make sure. Yeah, in sets instead of inserts. Okay, that's what's wrong with that one. Okay, so got that set. Everything is good there. Now I'm getting a message that doesn't know what set background is. It's not applicable for the arguments background fill. And so now then my code, it's not liking. Set background, new background. Oh, I know why. Okay, let me share again and I'll show you what went wrong. Okay, share screen. And this one. And share. Okay. Set background, and I put in new background fill, and I was saying I'm out of, there should be more parentheses in that. That's because background fill has to be added to a new background. So if I come back in here, which is not going to let me, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Okay, be right back with you. Okay, stop the share. I'll make the correction and show it to you. And what it is, the set background should have started with a new background. And the background should have included the new background fill. And if that makes no sense to you, it doesn't have to. You just have to know that's what you got to do. Okay. And again, if I could spell, that would make my life so much easier. Okay. Okay, I've got to add in one more library. And I might as well do that before I share the screen. Okay, going back to sharing the screen, I'll show you what I just did. Okay. All right. Line 24. Pane.set background, open parentheses. The next thing I had was a new background fill, and that's wrong. The next thing up should be new background. And within the background, you provide the background fill color of red, and you wind up closing 3 parentheses when it's all said and done. Okay, now then, I'm going to go back and set up the primary stage a little bit. I mean, this thing is really having fits tonight because I'm recording it. Okay, so right after that, okay, we're back at it again. I did the scene, that's already been done. I did the background color, now primary stage, which was defined on line 15, okay. The primary stage, I'm going to set its title, primary stage, set title. And I'm going to set the title to button demo on this one. So quote, BUTTON, DEMO, close quote. Okay, so that's the title for it. And we looked at that a little while back in the prior video that we were doing. Okay, now then the scene needs to be set, and I need to tell the stage, here's your starting scene. So I'm going to say primary stage dot set your scene to be, and we only have one scene, so that's the one we'll set it to. Okay. All right, so we're good there. Okay, now then I'm going to say open the curtains. So that's primary stage dot start, or show, excuse me, show. Okay, now this should show the buttons, but it shouldn't work yet. Okay, so let me see if I try to run this thing, what I get on this one. And it popped up, yeah, y'all are seeing the little window, and I'm going to tell it okay. And I've got to stop sharing so I can tell it okay. All right. Now then still, okay, got to go back to sharing on this thing. All right. So if you followed along, that popped up and went away. It's still trying to show right now. And I'm checking for, oh, I'll show you what I'm checking for. Screen, code, and share. Okay. Now then, absolutely nothing happened when I did that. And it's still running. Okay. And okay, great. Where is it? If you look around, you will not find it. Okay. Sorry, but it's just not there. So I'm going to kill it off by doing the little red block there, or I would try to if this would let me. Okay. The other things I'm doing right now is I looked for error messages down in here, and there were none. And the screen isn't responding. So let me try this little trick of clicking back and forth to get the screen.
I think you
yeah.
just forgot to launch the application.
That's exactly what I was going to show. If you go down to main, you will see we did not do application.launch. And that's what I'm trying to get to. And I'm going to stop and drink some tea while this thing settles down. Okay. I would really, really, really like this to actually function while I was doing things. This window functions fine. This window, now maybe. There we go. In main, I left out application.launch. So I'm going to do application, gosh, get my keys. Okay, application.launch, lowercase l, open close parentheses, semicolon. And that is why it showed nothing. Okay, now, oh, there, everything's working again. Okay, so I added that in, and I'll try launching mine one more time, except I didn't do that. It's freezing up again. It still thinks I've pushed the button. Okay, not even this one's knocking it out. I'll be right back with you with that scene. Okay, now then with that out of the way, it's still locking up on me. There we go, finally got it, Okay, now then I'll go ahead and try to launch it while I have it undone. And there we go. Let me go back now and share what popped up. Okay, so there that is. Now that's its starting size. Doesn't mean you can't change its starting size like that. And if you get it big enough, you can read across the top where the button demo is, okay? But now if I click on green, it accepts that I clicked on it, but it does nothing. And the reason it does nothing is I didn't tell it what to do when it's clicked on. So if I'll go and add those two back in, okay, so I'm going to, if I close that, of course, it'll stop the share, which isn't a bad thing, it turns out tonight. Okay, and then let's go back into our code and tell it what to do when we click on a button. Okay, so sharing that window again. Okay, but it looks like it's going to let me key in things. Okay, that's good. All right, so we told it to open the curtain, and it did. But now then we have to give it some instructions. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to say G button dot set on action. Okay, so I'm going to say set on action. Okay, and notice capitalization on it. Then I'm going to open this up. Now this little E thing that you're seeing me do, this started around Java 8 and it's used throughout the current versions of Java. It's called a Lambda Expression. And to really understand what that means, you need to have a little bit of a mathematical background, so I'm not even going to bother with that. What I'm going to tell you is this is a very shorthand way of creating a function that you call, but you only ever call from line 28. Now, instead of having to write a function with public static void or public int or any of that kind of stuff in it, you just describe the function right here and it's done for you, okay? So what I'm going to have it do is, now this is the entire function I'm keying in here. So this is going to say pane dot set background color. No, just set the background to start with, okay? Make sure I get these in the right order this time. And it's going to need a new background. Does that have a capital G? No, it's lowercase g. New background. And the new background is going to have a new background fill. And the new background fill is going to be a color. And the color that I want it to set to is green. And then the rest of this, I don't particularly care about. There's two more items that must be included. And I'm just going to put null on both of them. Okay, then if I go all the way to the end, Eclipse was kind enough to help me out with some keystrokes that didn't help. Okay, so let me count and see what I've got going here. I have opened, well, there's that big one, okay, to start with. So I've opened one. There's a second one that's open, a third one that's open, and a fourth one that's open, and I've only closed 3. So I need to close a fourth one. Okay, still not happy with me. What have I left out on this one? That actually should be it. New background color fill, green, null, null, and 1, 2, 3, 4 close. Oh, it didn't put, it doesn't always help. Okay, I'm trying to put in a fourth close. Okay, now then it's got a legitimate gripe. Green has to be in all caps. Okay, and I finally have that right. So I put into one line that would be a call to a method where I'd have to go down and create the method called probably set background to green and call that, and it would have in it all of these functions, okay? Well, I don't have to put in all that code if I will use a Lambda expression, okay? So go to end, and let's do the same thing now for the blue button. So since I'm having so much fun keying tonight, I'm gonna copy and paste and then change B button. Okay, and set background, new background color blue. Okay, and that should now give my buttons action. This is what I want it to do if they are clicked on. Okay, so let me try to run this again, and I'll see if it's going to be any kinder to me this time. Oh, what do you know it did? Ah, let me show you the window again. Share. Got excited because it actually worked without me having to stop it. Okay. All right. And I'll make this just a little bit bigger because I want to see the title I put in there. Okay. So I've got that. Now then, if I go click on green, background goes green. If I go click on blue, background goes blue. I will never get it back to red. Okay. That is what it takes to get a couple of buttons to work in JavaFX.
Will we eventually learn how to, for example, format those buttons so that they have a specific width, height, a background color, border, and all of that? And is there a way to like set them, choose the position where they are on the screen?
Answer to no, but the answer is no to all but the last question, and the answer is yes.
Okay, so we can't change the appearance of a button, but we can change the location.
No, that's not the question you asked. I'm playing with you at this point, man. Don't be upset with me, okay? Ben, what's going on is you asked, will I be showing how to do that? No, I won't, okay?
Okay.
But can you do that? Yes, you can. Okay, you can set the format of the buttons. You can format the text of the buttons. You can say how big they are. You can say where they are. All of that can be done. Yes.
And is that, I haven't really read the chapters yet, but is that mentioned in chapters, what was it, 14 through 16 in the?
I'm the same way. I didn't review those before I started tonight. And so I don't know if it's in there or not. But at this point, remember, one of the things I'm trying to do with this class, and I think I just told one individual, I don't know if I've told you all, I will give you an exercise to do, and I'm teaching you more than just that exercise. There's already been one y'all done and we're very successful with, and this one is another one. At this point, for you to learn how to do those things, I would expect you to at least go Google and try and see if you can find a way to do that. Then if you can't find a way to do that, then you holler at me and sure, I'll help you out with it, okay? But this is one where I'm feeding you enough where it's like you just did. There are more questions coming. The answers to those questions, Google is your friend, okay? All right, now, let's see what my time is, 7:42. Okay, that one wasn't too bad. Now then, I do want you to know how to do pictures, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is stop sharing. Well, let me close off this, okay, and that'll automatically stop sharing. And I want to try to add to our chat. Can I put a graphic in the chat? Does anybody know, have we tried that yet? It says I can put it in a file. Let me go see if I can find this file, okay? Got it set to look at. Okay, there it is. This is going to be back a little bit further. So let's start with this PC and then let's go to drive E. Yep, disk E, okay. And on disk E, I'm going back into 2020 spring last semester. And I'm looking for this class last semester. And in that, I'm going into the class code. And we did something on GUIs. This is one of the first ones we started with last semester. This is one I thought we'd already done. Go into source. Okay, notice it's not in the source folder. So let me move back up a level. Gonna go into the binary folder. And I want that little guy right there. Oh, okay. Everybody get a copy of that and download it. Okay, everybody check the chat. Download that picture. You're going to need it. Okay, has everybody got it? Is that doing okay? Okay, at this point, just know where it downloaded. We will move it in a little bit, okay? So wherever it downloaded, know. All right, now then, I'm going to share Eclipse again. Hope it works better than it did last time. And we're now going to do the last little bit of introductory code. Okay, so going into Eclipse, sharing, there it comes. Okay, I'm going to start a new Java class. I'm still in JavaFX introduction. New Java class, and I'm going to call this one display images. Okay, now let me give you a heads up right now. If you try to use this to display a regular picture, you may run into a few problems. So I'm doing this one specifically for little pixel things like you're going to see in a minute. Okay, so display images. Yes, I'll need the main to launch the thing with. Click on finish. Okay, I'm going to straighten it up. And the first thing I'm going to do is do an extends application. Okay, now, again, I'll have to create a start, but before I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and put this in while it's right here in front of me and I'm thinking of it. Application.launch. Okay, now then, I need a start. Okay, and this will be, I'm going to leave off the override just so you can see. Okay, I'm going to say public void start. And on this, again, I need my primary stage. Okay, and underneath this, open and close. Oops. Okay, doesn't know what stage is. Let's see if it, please work. Yes, okay. I don't know why it was giving me so many fits on the last one that we did. Okay, so anyway, it's in there. So now then, notice it's working with or without the override. But what the override would catch, let's see if I can get this to show to you, because it's worth knowing what this thing does. Okay, I put that in there, everything's fine, but what if I accidentally misspell start? Override catches that. And it says, look, that's nothing I'm expecting. And I'm going, okay, well, it's supposed to be overriding. Well, it didn't. Oh my goodness, I misspelled it. And y'all see me type, so you know to me this is important. Okay. All right. So anyway, that's override. That's what it does for you. So we'll set up a pane that we will be putting stuff in, and that's going to equal a new. Now I'm calling HBox. And when you try to put two pictures in here, you will appreciate me using HBox. Okay, this is the one that's very close to the assignment for tonight. Okay, pane HBox, pane dot set padding. And set padding is going to require new insets, not inserts. I misread that a while ago. And those insets will be just a border of 5 all the way around. Okay, and new is a lowercase word. Okay, and so it still needs to know what these are. I'm going to try that now. It was Control-Shift-O, if I remember right. Yeah, here we go. And yeah, y'all are seeing that, so that's working. Okay, do not take AWT, take FX. Okay, and I'll click on finish. Ooh. Okay, it didn't, oh, that's because there needs to be a space there. Okay, and it needs to know what an H box is. So with any luck, okay, yeah, it's behaving much, much better. Okay, now then, this is something we haven't seen before, and it's called an image. An image is a particular type. I'm going to have to add it in too. And I just simply call it image, just because that's a very convenient name. I'm only going to have one of them. You might need to use image 1 and image 2 on the one you're assigned. Okay, that's going to equal to a new image. And the new image is going to be attached to this file we just downloaded. Okay, so I need to, what's the name of the file? Somebody tell me, I can't see from my screen now. I can't see the chat. What was it?
What are you looking for?
The name of the image file that we just downloaded?
Like the rocket pistol?
Yeah, that's the one.
I think it's just rocket pistol 02.
Okay, got to get the upper and lower case down too.
So it's capital, okay, yeah.
And it was 02?
And then 02, yeah.
And GIF.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, because it's a animated GIF. Okay, and this is, we need that. Okay, so semicolon. And yeah, thank you. Somebody just posted it on my screen. I see it here and I'm matching. Okay, good. Okay, got to tell it what an image is. Not AWT, JavaFX. Okay, so far so good. Okay, now then, I've got to go to the pane and tell the pane you have something new to add. And this is where Java itself gets so funky. It has to make something look like something else so that it can be accepted. Well, you're about to see that, so here we go. I'm going to say pane dot get children, okay, and open close. And I'd like you to add, okay. Now I want to just tell it to add image, but unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Okay. For add, there's only certain things that you're allowed to add. And a regular image isn't one of them. But what you can add instead is something that can view an image. Okay, so image is my little GIF that's out there. I've tied to it with image, but an image isn't sufficient to show up in a GUI because there has to be something that knows how to display the image, okay? So that's what I can add as a child. So I'm going to add a new image view. And this is the thing that knows how to put an image into a GUI and get it to look right. But the image view needs to know what image it's supposed to be getting ready. Okay, so now I'll come back to image view and I've got to add that in. Okay, so take a look at this again. Okay, this is still pane. We're going to add a child to what the pane, and this is all the stuff that pane holds, and we put this in the scene a little bit. Okay, but this image thing, okay, an image view cannot go directly to a file and pull it in. That's not what it does. An image view takes an image that's already been pulled in from a file and knows how to make it display in a GUI. So to the child I need to add to pane is something that knows how to display the image. And that needs to know what image it's supposed to display. And that image is what's tied to what's on the, well, in my case, a jump drive. So far, so good. This is when Java is at its worst, okay? I have to take the GIF and wrap it in an image. I have to take the image and wrap it in an image view, and then I have to hand that off to a pane that knows how to display stuff. So it can go forever and ever and ever. Okay, now then I've got everything set up. I need a scene to add to the stage, and that's going to equal to a new scene. And the new scene is going to automatically, oh, spaces count, new scene. And the new scene is going to contain the pane. And the pane contains the image viewer, which contains the image. Okay. Then semicolon, and have to tell it what a scene is. Okay, now then, I have a scene. I've got to place the scene into the primary stage. So I'm going to say primary stage, set scene, and set the scene to the only scene I've got. Okay. Now then, other things I want to do, I can put a title on it if I want to. I don't have to. I'm just going to say primary stage, open the curtains. Okay. Oh, periods instead of commas. Okay. Now, main says, okay, application launch. And launch says, okay, got to start. Where's my stage? Okay, I hope the stage has been set up by this point, and here we go. So I'm going to try to run this one now, and it's not going to work. It should die with an error message. But this one is intentional on my part, and there it is. Let me try to get this whole thing in here because it's a lot of error for one little mistake. Invocation target exception, and I'm trying to find down here something that would give you a clue. Here it is, finally. JavaFX scene.image.image. It can't find the image. It's going to look for that image in a very particular place. And if the image is not there, then it's going to die like this. Now, those of you that have worked with DOS and know how to set up the paths and all that kind of stuff, yeah, you could put the whole path to the image there and it'll work. But I'm not going to try to go into that in this class. So what we're going to do then is go get that image that we downloaded and put it in the correct folder. Okay, so find a browser, a Windows browser, which I had open and closed in my hurry to do things. I really did. Okay, so let me launch the browser and then I'll share that one. Okay, and it's sample code for class. No, I want the browser. Okay. Okay, so I'm sharing that with you now. I have to go get a copy of that image or cut the image, either one, and place it into the right folder for this Java program to find. So first thing, go find the picture. And mine was in, I think I had it on this one, 2020 fall, that's this semester, 2020 spring, and test doc object. No, that's all in the wrong place. Perhaps GUI? No, that's something else I showed them. Bin. Okay, I got to go find where mine is. I just had it. I had to go find it to show it to you. Wasn't in this by any chance. Let's see, 161. Class code, GUI, bin. There you are, you little devil. Okay, rocketpiscal2.gif. I'm going to get a copy of that. And now I've got to go find the folder for this Java program that we wrote. Well, it's in yours somewhere, okay? And you have to go check to see where yours is. And let's see, there's that rocket, but I want to come back to where we are. And I'm on drive C in fall of 2020. That's this semester. And I'm in 161. And I'm in sample code for class. And here's my, oh, that's the, nope, I already did that one, JavaFX introduction. And I had a hello world, but that was someplace else. Okay, now then, if I look in the source file, which is the wrong place, there's all three of them, buttons and hello world, and display images is the one we're working on. Okay, those are all in this source file. But when you run the code, it's converted over into closer to machine language in a bin or in this class. Class and binary files are almost the same thing, but not quite. And it's in here, if I remember right, that it's going to look for that image. And so the spelling of the image here, the image name here, and in our code have to match exactly or it will not find it. Okay, so now having done that, let me go back to my code. Okay, and there's the rocketpistol02.gif, and now it should find it. Let's hope so. I'm going to turn around. Am I sharing that one? Yeah, I'm going to turn around and run this. And let me show you what just showed up on mine. I've got to share that little screen. Okay. So somewhere else, someone else created this rocket, this animated GIF. And it took this much code on my part to make the little rocket blast off. This is all working with GUIs. All right, did y'all's work?
Yeah, mine did.
Yep.
Okay, all right, good.
So I just have a question about like when you're putting the insets in or the set padding or whatever, what is that doing?
It should be, and I can use this one. Well, I might can show it to you better with the colors one. Let me just launch that and then I'll share that with you. The buttons one. Okay, let me run the buttons one. Okay, it has come up. I'm going to share that screen with you and see if we can see it. Okay, share that. And then I'm going to make this larger. Trying to make this larger. Okay, so that's as big as that's going to get. And it is very hard to tell because it's not very big. It's only 5 pixels wide. But around the outside of this in when I share this, it does it from screen to screen on most of y'all's. That's supposed to be giving us 5 pixels of blank space around the edge. So if you're trying to do something that runs all the way to the edge, you're going to wind up with a 5 pixel dead spot over there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's what it's supposed to be doing. I cannot see it. I don't know, maybe if I did 500. Well, that will be hard if it's only 150 wide. Let's try 15. I still don't think that'd be enough. I can do 25 though. I'm in my code changing the padding to be 25, 25, 25 instead of 5, 5, 5. And let me see if that shows up large enough to do any good. Okay, kill that off and we're back. And I'm rerunning to see what this does. No, I'm not even going to show it to you. I can't see the difference in it. I think the difference is because the insets are also red, the way I have that code written. So, okay, but that's
fine.
Yeah, that's what they're supposed to be doing. Okay. All right. Other questions?
What was the file path again?
The file what?
Is it under source or bin?
Bin, B-I-N.
Do you think that you could post in the chat your files for the Halloween thing? Because I didn't get that when I was trying to set up my.
Oh, the
default.
other one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe you didn't just get that right off the bat. I mean, that's just, yeah, of course I will. That without this, if y'all had seen this that we just did first last week, then this week, this would have made sense, the stuff I started with. So that's what was missing on that. Let me go ahead and stop this recording and then see what else we're going to get into. Okay, recording is stopping now.